Pickacard, how is your reputation changing? Here are your options, and I'll see you at your reading.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, how is your reputation changing? It seems like you're climbing out of a different era, like a blend of museum paintings and modern life. You stepped into an authenticity, whimsy, eccentricity, and grace as never seen before. People's attentions are newly riveted on you. It's almost like the contour of your life, the lighting, something about it is swirling around you, and it's definitely changed, and all for the better. If this is you, or if this sounds interesting, go ahead and join me for your reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful, or at the very least, something that is encouraging to you. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offender, I am so grateful to have you. Thank you so very much for all of your like, share, comments, all of your super chats, and your donations. It really helps this channel to keep going. It helps me to focus on what I love. Pile number 1, how's your reputation changing? You have Midas touch. Yeah, you do. And you have forever young. Forever young. Okay. So, right off the bat, I definitely look at the eyes, the intensity right here with the number 11. And maybe even the number 1138 can mean something to you specifically. But I feel like you've had a glow up with your skincare, with your skin overall. I think that what you're currently focused on is what is beautiful, what is fragrant to you, what really makes you happy. And in turn, that's really turning, I'm going to say a profit for you, because the Midas touch, is always about being able to turn a dime, to make a living, to make a coin out of something, right? It's like everything you touch turns to gold, and gold is worth, well, throughout the ages, gold is worth the most anyways. But I digress. So pile number 1, what is changing for you? How's your reputation changing? Yeah, it's like no matter how hard you focused on the wrong things, maybe things that didn't give you joy and things like that, things were okay. But now that you're focusing on what gives you happiness, true joy, even if it seems weird or odd to other people, that's what's really making it for you. That's what's inscribing your name, I heard in the stars, okay? So forever young. I love this. And this goes back to maybe perhaps like your skincare routine and things like that. But I feel like people from the past, when they look at you, it's almost like you haven't aged much, if anything, right? And I'm looking at this dusty rose kind of color and the conch shell that is formed out of the skeleton head and the other one peering through here. Yeah. And it seems a little bit like voyeuristic, or that you might have some people actually just kind of peering in at you, some old situations. And what they're looking at is that you're a totally changed person, that the person they want to gossip about, talk about, they want to reminisce about, even like the good things. Like they want to sit around, have drinks and go, hey, remember when pile number 1 used to live here? They used to be around here. We used to go to school together, whatever the thing is. We used to work together. It doesn't make a difference. It's like you've forever changed, but you've kept your spirit, your focus also. And it appears like, the mouth is definitely not open. I mean, I feel like there's an intensity, an intense focus here. So your reputation is changing, that you are speaking less and doing more, that everything that your hand touches really does turn to gold, and that a lot of people want to resurrect out of your past and come back in. Now, I know, I feel you guys be like, don't even talk about that. Okay, I get it. But I'm just going to say that whenever people feel like you withdraw your energy or you start having a major glow up, which is your case right here, pile number 1, I definitely feel like that's pretty much what happens. Like for each action, there's an equal reaction, right? And let's see what else we have right here. Yeah, your hair could have changed. You could have changed color. Maybe you're going back to your natural texture. Like if you're the kind of always flat iron your hair, you always curl it, you're allowing it to be all natural. And this is definitely changing, that you're more comfortable within your own skin because it's not like she's wearing a ton. So that's another thing that you are changing, and your reputation is changing because of that. Wow. Well, if you're not the mover and the shaker, then this is not your pile. I'm going to say if you are not focused, if you are not somebody who is intense, if you're not all about like business, the business, even if you have like this massive inheritance and you don't need the money, right? I feel like you would be somebody who has this intensity that you're like, I'm here to create, bitches. Just kidding. But you're not about the life to just sit around. Like, you have purpose, and that's why this Queen of Wands is really focused intently. Now, you're the keeper of dark mysteries, of any mysteries and all secrets, and I definitely feel like your secret, oh, your reputation is changing. Look at these cards just jumping out for you, and you had a bunch of cards jumping out for you. Is that you're incredibly sexy. I feel like even you're more attractive than before, if that's even possible. Now, for some of you guys, you've been working on your craft, honing your skills, or doing whatever it is. This is burning the midnight oil with the moon back here. You could have many different businesses. You could actually go to work, for example, in somebody else's business, and then all of a sudden you're going to pop up and work on your own business. Because why? We just don't work for other people only. We are going to do the most, right? And this is a queen, whether male or female, that is the most movie star like. So I'm going to say that not only that, but maybe the way that you present yourself, the way that you dress yourself, there's an air of an authority, air of peace, an air of, I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm owning it. And I feel like really energetically, you can conquer an entire room and people's heads turn. So you don't have to be dressed to the nines. I heard in my head dressed to the tens, but not even the nine. You don't even have to be dressed to the sevens or whatever that would mean. It's like you coming out with a pair of jeans and tennis shoes is still going to turn heads for sure. Now, how's your reputation changing? Let us look. Yeah. Your reputation is changing because you have walked away from things that made you feel unsettled, uncomfortable, unfulfilled. And you went in search of the ninth cup because that's what was going to give you stability. Yep, look, good grief. You can't make this up. So the ninth cup, I mean, even when I was thinking of you went in search of your ninth cup, I feel like what is how your reputation is changing is that you are willing to, I want to say, go back to work. Some of you guys maybe even retired, soft retired, semi-retired, and you decided to go back to work, or you end up doing like a job by accident, okay? And by accident, I mean that you're just skilled. You picked up a hobby and people loved it, or you started painting and all of a sudden you're like selling paintings. You're like, wait, whoa, what's going on here? But whatever this is, I definitely feel like you went in search of that which makes you feel grounded, right? We're talking about the root chakra. Grounded, this is how I know that I'm going to be able to sustain myself and a roof over my head. And I'm not going to have to worry about how I'm going to shelter, feed, and clothe my family. And this could have been up in the air for you. I definitely feel like your reputation is changing because whatever it is that you are investing a lot of time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, or this could be recent past as well. If it's not making you feel secure, if it doesn't make you feel welcome, if it's not turning a good dime for you as well, then you're just not going to do it. You're going to keep it pushing. Now, with the Eight of Pentacles right here, my goodness. Okay. Let me tell you that when I did your download, and part of your download was you're like a blend of a museum painting and modern life. I tried to go on TikTok and look up some art examples. And all of a sudden I went down the rabbit hole because I had a specific in mind. It's almost like those Norman Rockwell pictures. I think that's his name. But I wanted to get some better examples of what I saw in my head, and I just didn't really quite see it, and then I got lost in the art. Yeah, shocking. But my squirrel took over, and I went down probably a 2-hour dive into all this art, and I was just like fascinated. And then I thought, okay, enough is enough. So here we are. But I'm gonna say that, with the Eight of Pentacles, you will do things until the 10th degree. Like, your reputation is changing because you're going to put all into it. You're like all in or all out. Your reputation is changing because whatever it is that holds your attention is going to hold you as well. And this is going to be very important. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of confirmation in my crown chakra. So a lot of you guys also can be connecting with spirit, and you could be feeling it physically, okay? How's your reputation changing? Pile number one is that you're on point about so many different things, and maybe sometimes you don't even know it. You can speak things into existence. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you can read people's minds, and you're incredibly creative. So if something about your creativity, sorry, I bumped the mic here, is, yeah, maybe you are like bumping the mic. You're like, hey, attention, I got something to say. If you're liking these kind of readings, please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. Those of you guys that have already done so, I am so grateful. Thank you so very much. And don't forget to click your little notification bell where you get notified that I drop further readings. How's your reputation changing? Look, I'm gonna look at my cards. Change. It's changing because it's changing. I understand that nothing can grow and evolve without movement. Yeah. And you could be getting into like sacred geometry. You can look into, I'm seeing even like illusions, like going to a museum and seeing where a raindrop on canvas looks so freaking real. And it's almost like somebody put resin over a raindrop, and yet it's all paint. It's a buildup of paint. And I don't know, with so many of these color ideas and these artistic things, I feel like you guys are definitely artists, or you're artists in some way, even if, air quotes here, because to me, everything could be artistic, right? I mean, the way that you take care of people could be very artistic. The way that if you're a caregiver at home, or somebody, I'm picturing somebody pulling somebody out of bed, you can get into such a rhythm that you're like, okay, like this is how we're going to do it. And on 3, we're going to swing and put both of our bodies in motion and get you up out of that bed. And so on. Okay, so I feel like there's something about you that once you find a rhythm and you stick to it, it really works for you in abundance, cups pouring forward. That was so awkward how I said it. You're welcome. So how is your reputation changing? Oh, yeah. Okay, I love myself, and I see myself in everyone. I feel like even this is a nod to like mandalas. That could be a thing for you. Maybe you like to color them, paint them, draw them on your doorsteps. I don't know your life, right? But I definitely feel like this is something that is monumental for you. And it's changing security, like the way that you view security, the security of your money. I don't know why I keep like fussing, because I get fussing with this and I always mess it up when I do that. But anyways, here we are doing the things. Yeah, but you could be on stage, or you could have been on stage. It's almost like maybe perhaps you felt like you were on stage for a long time doing things that you weren't happy with, or you were going through the motions, right? Because with the 8 of Cups, it's like we've done all the way up to 7 of Cups, and it's like you felt a certain amount of enthusiasm, and then it felt great, and then you felt cooperative energy, and then you had to withdraw your energy, and then you felt sad about something. It's almost like you lost your mojo, your excitement, your thrill, or you realized things about this energy and whatever it was that you were doing that just made you sad, made your spirit kind of, I heard, crumble. Okay, so maybe crumble cookies could be something for someone. Maybe y'all are eating something like that. I don't know your life, right? But you had to progress all the way up to the 8 of Cups, and at that point you're like, no, this really doesn't make me happy. And so your reputation is changing, because I feel like that can fire you up. That can light an internal light within you, an internal flame, an internal fire, to the point that you're like, okay, well, if I want it done, I'm gonna do it myself, kind of theory, right? And I feel like you set up to go ahead and do this thing, whatever this thing is, even if you're not really sure what it is, and it's incredibly successful. I feel like whatever this is, you could have a lot of pride affiliated with it. I feel like it could bring you a lot of joy, definitely a lot of stability as well. And maybe even love. You could meet people that you maybe fall in love with, if that's a thing for you, a need or a desire, or even like a surprise for you. Or if your partner not interested in that, I mean, it could be that you wind up loving whatever this thing is, and other people wind up loving it as well. So my goodness, look at you. How's your reputation changing? It's that you have that emotional gratification. You went from the 8 of Cups, and in a very short while, you're going to be at the 10 of Cups. This is about real emotional gratification, happiness. I think even like pride right here. I feel like people might be confused. The number 1414 on camera right now, by the way, could mean something to you. Some people could be confused currently because they don't really understand what it is that you're going for, what it is you're doing, or how you're going about things. It doesn't make sense because I feel like you're really unconventional. Non-traditional is what I heard. But by the end of it, I don't want to say when it wraps up because, you know, that's kind of weird. But when this thing becomes known, whatever it is that you are doing, it could be like, you know, turning Barbie houses into modern goth houses with, you know, to scale of real homes or whatever. I don't know. And then you sell it as like gifts and they, you know, to home buyers. I don't know, something like that. But whatever this is, I feel like it's going to take off on such a grand scale. Even this guy back here, this looks like Wally. I've never even noticed that before. You know, that cartoon Wally, where he was like lonely and he talked to a flower. So maybe you've had travels to where you felt very lonely and you had to be the mover and the shaker, and you're very misunderstood. And I feel like all of that is changing. Yeah, it's giving you the emotional gratification, but it's also giving you the stability that you need. I mean, even if you have like tens of thousands and gazillions squirreled away and you have your 401k point and your projected retirement is going to be, you know, smelling like roses, it doesn't make a difference. I feel like whatever this is, it's going to make you feel so complete, so I heard competent, so validated also, because I feel like you could have been somebody who is really sorely misunderstood. I feel like you went through a period of like trying to align yourself with different things. And I mean, honestly, I feel like we sort of have to do that as a society in order to like make a paycheck, right? You get this job and you're like, all right, this is my new alliance. Or you get this other job and all right, that's my new alliance. And so on. But, you know, do you have a passion for selling billboards? Maybe not. Or are you passionate about this line of cars? You know, yeah, that's not my line of car that I would like to have, but it's the best car out there now until I'm done selling them, right? So I feel like your reputation is changing because you continue following your cues, your clues. You're following like the white rabbit. And I feel like you are making it out of the matrix on your own. And this could be, again, within full public view. Okay, you're following your intuition with this big, beautiful moon in the background. So let me know what you guys think. I know that was a little bit different. Let me know what you think. Until next time, namaste.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Grisel with Toughdolltarot and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 2, how's your reputation changing? Peace out. You could have strong performative energy and now you're no longer willing to be people pleasing or in that mode whatsoever. You're taking a different stage. You are withdrawn. You're cutting people off or you have cut people off. And there's a certain grace about you that hasn't been seen, maybe perhaps ever. Join me for your reading and welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I hope you find something that is helpful, hopeful, or at the very least encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, like repeat offenders, what kind of accent is that? I have no idea. I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you so very much for love, support, for your donations, for ordering readings, for all of the things. Thank you so very much. So how's your reputation changing? Pile number 2. You have fishbowl. Wow. And broken open. Wow. Okay. I feel like you're making monumental changes. I feel like you're being broken open by spirit. I heard law, by the law. That's weird. Okay. So something about the law. Maybe some of you guys are undergoing some kind of a law thing. Yeah, let's see where this goes. But definitely fishbowl. I feel like people are privy to this. They are able to see you some way, somehow. And a lot of these changes are really shocking. I feel like it's shocking to other people. And you know how we put our best foot forward, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But it comes a point where it's like, all right, boring. I don't want to be like boring, but I mean, let's get real. Not everything is sunshine, rainbows, and we're not all whistling Dixie. I don't even know what Dixie is, but whistling Dixie or whatever, whistling whatever on the way home or to or from work or anything like that. So I definitely feel like whatever this is, you are being broken open in order for the light to shine into the best parts of you. And I heard the breast parts of you. So I don't know, maybe something going on in there, right? So how is your reputation changing? Pile number 2 is that you are being incredibly transparent. Maybe you don't have a choice, or maybe perhaps it is your tool, your method of working through things, right? And that could be a thing for you. Let's see. It's a fighter fish, and I didn't realize there were other fish out here outside of the fishbowl. Maybe you've been in the fishbowl for so long, and with the number 5, things are definitely changing. Massive changes that come in. With the number 3 and the broken open, the 3 could always really indicate to me collaborative energy, who you're cooperating with, who you're collaborating with, things like that. Private, no entry. And this one like flipped during the shuffle for you. I love this card so hard. I think that's why I bought this deck. But round for boundaries. Oh, bound. Hello. Who's wearing the glasses? Yeah, but your mind has a fence right here. And it's like private, no entry, restricted or keep out. Private property, no trespassing. Violators will be persecuted. Yeah. So you could once upon a time been feisty, real protective, real self-protective. I know that I have been. And that is changing. Obviously, I mean, you know, sharing my life on a channel like this is very public in a lot of ways. Well, it's very public in every way, I suppose. But your reputation has changed because maybe you held people at bay, or you didn't really share much of yourself once upon a time. You had a lot of boundaries, a lot of fences, a lot of warning signs, kind of like, all right, we're not going to talk about that, or we haven't gotten there yet. I'm just thinking back to a lot of things that I've talked about during my dating life once upon a time. I don't know why that's coming up, but maybe that has something to do with you as well in your reading, pile number 2. But your reputation is changing because whatever signs and symbols you would throw out there for people to realize, hey, you're about to cross that line, or don't cross that line because I see you kind of walking the line. Like you better reel it back in because you're too close for comfort, that sort of thing. I think that's ending. I think that all of these fences are coming down, and I think it is due to maybe a big change or like a personal choice, or maybe a combination thereof. For whatever reason, I heard silent no more. I feel like you're not remaining silent any longer, and whatever has been in the dark is coming out into the light. Whatever you have guarded, whatever you have stated, like, this is something of my personal thing that is meant to be personal, not to be shared. Maybe you're utilizing the internet as like a catalyst, or like a diary, right? I remember like putting things on Facebook like dear diary, you know, because I feel like nobody even cares anyways. And so it was kind of therapeutic. I can work through things like that. And so it was a form of like tongue in cheek, really. But I feel like a lot of these like red tape things, people are starting to understand. The more that you break open, they're understanding why you have those fences up to begin with, why it is that it was difficult to get to know you, or it has been difficult to get to know you. Why is it that you felt like your whole life was, maybe you were in a fishbowl, right? Maybe for me, that indicates that like no matter where that fish goes, they could be seen. And there could have been a real big lack of privacy in your life. Now, you know, why not overshare? Because apparently that's what I do. But, you know, I always felt like my life was, you know, open to whomever wanted to, because I didn't have privacy. It was constantly being invaded. And so it wasn't like an innate ability to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go off and do this and have this private thought or whatever. It was constantly being invaded, to my journals being, you know, invaded, to my personal space, to my body, all the things. So if you guys have been on this channel, you know, I've talked a lot about that, about SA and a lot of other, you know, issues. So hopefully it's none of that. But I definitely felt like my life was like a fishbowl. Like I had no autonomy. I had no power. It simply was. I got stuck in a bowl, and that's what I had to live with. And knowing full well that everything was open to prying eyes, right? And I feel like maybe perhaps something like that could have been similar, hopefully not identical, or just similar in emotional nature, that you know, that's breaking open. I feel like your fences are coming down, but it's like fences of the mind. People are being able to really understand how your mind works, what it is that you're thinking, where it is that you're coming from. And maybe perhaps you're sharing on public platform, maybe you're journaling, maybe you're publishing an anonymous book about your thoughts, about your, I don't know, your privacy being violated. That's the only thing that's coming up in my head right now because of that fishbowl. But the way that you had to jump into the frame, be willing to fight for things, you know, it's like, you know what, I deserve privacy and I'm going to fight for it. And if you can't respect my privacy, then you do not deserve any minutes in my life, any minutes within my space. So I definitely feel like people could start having a big understanding about this. Also, I definitely feel like a lot of you guys, your reputation is changing because you're kind of returning back to your roots, if you will. If you're indigenous, if you have a belief system, if you have a certain bloodline, if you're connected to a certain tribe, things like that. I feel like you're going to be doing more with that wisdom, with that knowledge. Yeah, this makes me feel like being embraced by your people, a people, some way, somehow. So maybe you felt disjointed, maybe you moved away, maybe perhaps it's been a long solitary journey for a lot of you guys, and maybe perhaps it's come full circle. Now, I didn't really notice the fence down here right on her chest, but it's almost like whatever it is that you were thinking, you really strive to shield that and cover your mind. Also, your heart chakra, it's like what you desire, what it is that you want, and things like that. So I feel like all those things, barriers are starting to come down because you realize that you can really erect the barriers whenever you want, but it is a time for you to, once that you have been broken open, right? By spirit, I feel. And by life, not by these old situations and old programming. I definitely feel like this has been a way for you to really open up, not only to heal yourself, but help other people heal as well, some way, somehow. Now I'm looking at these three things in the back, and they're kind of like crossing her throat chakra. So I feel like there could have been like blockages removed from your throat, like you are definitely speaking your truth more so than ever. And maybe perhaps you're entering into an era where you feel safe, right? The root chakra is all about safe and security. And that moon is intuition, yes. And then you have the one eye. And it's a lot about like watching or being watched and things like that. Maybe you don't have to be so careful any longer because you don't have people that abuse their authority or took it upon themselves to really try to be an authority over you and things like that. So maybe you're feeling safe and you are actually speaking out and speaking up about things that really matter, things that you have been through, and so on. So pile number 2, good for you. And if any of that sounds familiar, then I am so sorry. I hope that you're getting a lot of support and a lot of love because that is not an easy thing. Also, I'm seeing this a little bit like performative energy as well. So it could be, oh yeah, exactly. So, with the image that you chose, I got a lot of performative energy, and it's like, this is what's expected. This is a script. This is a narrative. And that's the part that's like changing. I feel like you're no longer like performing, but if you have to be on stage, let's say, for example, life is a stage. Sometimes I think of it that way. Then you're going to perform according to your rules. No longer are you going to regurgitate lines that are not, that are not meant for you, that you don't mean, that you're not feeling. You're changing all of those old narratives in order people, I'm here for people to feel comfortable. It's like you had to perform a certain way and you're not doing that anymore. Why? Because you have broken open. Not that you're trying to like hurt other people, but I feel like there's a part of you that you've come through to the other side. And this is meant to have light shown within you some way, somehow, right? This is not a private reading. If you want a private reading, go ahead and email me and we can talk about that as well. So pile number 2, how's your reputation changing? Your reputation is that, look, you are incredibly psychic, that you, pile number 2, knew it all along, that you were maybe curled up. I feel like something about the way that you sit, the way that you're poised, the way that you're looking at things. Even the slight smile that mimics this one as well. I definitely feel like you could be changing in the fact that you're embracing your moment, your current moment. Maybe you've never had a standing ovation. Maybe you've never had, quote, main character energy, or at least you felt like you didn't because you had to dim your light around other people. Otherwise, massive repercussions were sure to happen. That was a case in my life, by the way. So I feel like maybe perhaps that's definitely changing for you. And with all the logs in the back, I definitely feel like you are in a safe, cozy place where you could really explore, I want to say, coming out more or being more authentic, being more up front and center stage. And yeah, and continue thriving and growing with this green couch. I think about a lot of growth. I think that your heart chakra is definitely warming up. It is expanding. It is growing. And I heard it is glowing. So at times you could feel your heart chakra warm up as well. So how's your reputation changing? Seven of Cups, you're having a lot of options. Pile number 2. You have a ton of options that are opening up to you. Why? Because you are opening up your mind. You're letting go of fear because you're trusting your intuition more than you ever have before. I definitely feel like maybe even you're trusting your ancestors more than you ever have before. You're making this connectivity that you never have. Maybe on a public forum or in the public eye, or you're at ease with declaring that, hey, this is where I'm getting my information from. And if my ancestors say that's a no-go, then that's definitely a no-go, okay? With the 7 of Cups right here, I feel like even though you have a lot of options and a lot of offers, I definitely feel like you're going to take your time and you're going to be cautious about it and you're going to be mindful. Why? Because you've seen things, right? So pile number 2, if you're indeed liking these kind of readings, take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. How's your reputation changing? Trust, wow. That's a long journey. I resemble that remark. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Look, did we not just talk about that? Trusting your intuition, trusting your guidance, trusting your ancestors. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this is something that's definitely coming to the forefront. And the more that you trust yourself, I feel like it's going to shock people. I definitely feel like people are intimidated by you. I definitely feel like even with the image you originally chose, I think that a lot of your external stuff is being stripped away, including like the do not enter, no trespassing, you'll get arrested, beware of dog, beware of chihuahuas. Yeah, if you come closer, you might lose a limb, things like that. Or, you know, toxic, I don't know, plutonium lives here, toxic chemicals live in this ground. Don't trespass, don't come in here. Whatever it was that you were able to really push people away with, or not be a part of things or not let your guard down, I feel like you are allowing those to be. Because why? Not that you trust everybody else because you've seen the shit show that they can cause, but that you trust you, that you have the autonomy now to be able to say, you know what, if you break my trust, if you don't respect my boundaries, then you're out of my life, period. If you decide that you just want to be a watcher and you want to sit on the couch and you want to police everything that I do, you're out of my life. If you don't bring anything worthwhile and productive, if it's not reciprocal energy, if it's not easy flowing, you're out of my life. If, you know, if you can't respect my boundaries again, or if you don't bring a source of comfort or a source of emotional gratification, then what are you doing here? You're out of my life. So I definitely feel like you have been the pile that you have really, you've endured a lot and you have evolved a lot. And again, I feel like people don't recognize you any longer. And I do feel like people could be a bit afraid of you. I've been a little bit like riveted on the energy of the picture for a long time, pile number 2. And I couldn't find anything else to go with it because usually I have a purpose when I pick out my 3 images. I do not want to tell you how long it takes me to pick out a thumbnail, because I discard ideas. Sometimes I scrap the whole thing after spending 2-3 hours on it, and I'll go back to the drawing board. Yes, you heard that right. Don't tell nobody. That's between you and me. So how's your reputation changing? You're going to trust in change. You're going to trust in the change. You're going to keep it pushing forward motion. Yeah, you're going to go with whatever it is that makes you feel good. It's like your sacral chakra could be popping as well. And your crown chakra, I definitely feel like, yeah, you're being guided by an inner voice that nobody else can hear, nobody else can see. I feel like maybe even people could try to utilize old manipulative tactics, but that they're going to soon realize that it doesn't work anymore. And to stop digging a hole. Stop digging so far that you're going to continue burying yourself in it. If you continue with this behavior, I feel like because people are going to start understanding you more, they'll have more respect, and therefore you'll feel like they won't be so quick to want to take from you. They'll tread carefully in this area of your life, or in this manner, however that rings true to you, okay? Something to do with freedom, something to do with self-expression, autonomy, all of these subjects are massive in your life. And the fact that you're trusting yourself and that you are changing and evolving and that you're no longer afraid, because what the hell do you have to be afraid of? You've managed to do it all along, all by yourself, and you're a force to be reckoned with. So if anybody want to mess with that, well, good luck to them, right? Because it simply ain't happening. So that is what I have. I absolutely love your energy. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Grisel with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, how is your reputation changing? You are publicly and privately embodying your witchy self now more than ever. I definitely feel like you had brought this to the forefront. That could include like wearing crystals or just getting in touch with spirit, however that looks like to you. Maybe a little bit more gothy, or maybe a little bit more linear in your reputation is clear that you're not one to be played with. If this is you, or if this sounds like you, go ahead and join me for your reading. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I hope you find something that is helpful or hopeful. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, thank you guys so very much for love, your support, for being here. I am so grateful to have you. Pile number 3. How's your reputation changing? Make a wish. Beautiful. And you have what goes around comes around. Wow. Not you wishing what goes around comes around for other people. Is that possible? How's your reputation changing? Wow. Well, first of all, I'm going to say that you're going to get your wish, whatever your wish is. And with all these stars right here, I definitely feel like this could be in the public arena, or it could even be the downfall of someone. Now, I never want to predict like negative things happening to other people, but I don't know what I'm getting myself into right here. The number 4, this could indicate like maybe somebody going through cycles, right? It could be mental cycles. It could be they're chronically on this carousel and it never stops. It's like they do the same thing over and over and over again. And your wish is for that to stop, the carousel to grind to a halt. And it appears to be doing that very thing right now. Now, what does this say? I think Karma, Act 2. Is that it? Let's get in here. Apparently I wrote on myself. Karma Act 2, I guess. Okay. So, yeah, something about this. Something about someone else getting their karma. And, you know, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you wish other people get their karma, although it clearly states that. I don't know. I kind of have a problem with that. I don't like thinking about that towards other people, but here we are talking about it. So maybe, you know, you do you. But I'm going to say that whatever this is, I feel like this could be something grinding to a total and sudden halt for someone. I feel like this could be mental cycles. It could be even a mental fracture, right? What goes around comes around. I feel like somebody experiencing something that maybe they wished on you, or maybe they witnessed you undergo and they didn't lend a hand. I don't know your life. And I feel like they have to look in the mirror and really understand that this is part of their fate, simply because, you know, what they've done, they're going to attract as well. So Let's see what else we have here. Make a wish. It seems like very innocent energy combined with very nefarious and purposeful and strategic energy. And honestly, I don't like it. It's making me uncomfortable. So, yeah, keeping it moving here. Pile number 3. Facing, oh shit. Okay, well, I guess we're going there. How's your reputation changing? I feel like you're starting to see that it is time to face some music, that other people are having to face some music, that maybe perhaps you do have a desire for people who've done you wrong, who've done you dirty, who maybe they were stuck in a cycle with you and wouldn't get off the carousel. This could be people revolving in and out of your life. Now, for some of you, you've had, you know, I get these like things where it flashes in my brain. I'm like, I guess I'm going to, share it. But when I was really young, my parents were, revolving around coming into my life and leaving, into my life and leaving. And it was very disruptive and it was very discombobulating. It was difficult to really comprehend. And I definitely feel like maybe perhaps that's what they're experiencing, is like a revolving door of things, of issues, of people that is making their head spin, or things that are coming and going that isn't working out for them, that they're starting to understand that maybe perhaps this could have done a lot of damage. And I'm not saying that people deliberately do that, but honestly, like even if we step on a baby's foot by accident, you still stepped on the foot, right? And so you're going to have to do something about it. I mean, there's going to be some crying involved, and hopefully it's just a temporary painful thing, but there's always like a cause and effect, right? And I feel like it is time for them to face the music. So whoever is in this pile, I feel like intuitively, that karma doesn't have necessarily a timeline. It doesn't have beginning, middle, and an end. That, until you pay your dues, there's no advancement. There's no change. I heard there's no promotion. And I definitely feel like, and karma could be very, I don't know, in my perspective, a very simple thing. I just don't like to think about people suffering. If you're, out of my scope, out of my trajectory, then wish you well and whatever. But I just don't like that whole, let's get revenge type thing, which makes me feel like that's what this is. But it doesn't have to be. I definitely feel like, and understand that it's time to face some music, for them to face some music, and for the reality, maybe even for things to come out, maybe even for things to bloom. Look at all these dark like flowers that really appear to compose her hair. Yeah, facing the music. There are a lot of different, even these are old, is it phonogram? I don't remember what they're called, but you would like crank them up, and they were the old school record players before we had like, internet and all that fun stuff. Y'all probably don't know a lot about that. Some of you guys don't. Anyways, but I definitely feel like even with the voice being activated and mind being activated, right here, you could be speaking your truth about a lot of things, and people need to face the music of maybe even the consequences of their action or the reality of their actions. And I definitely feel like people have been running for a long time, running away from responsibility, running away from what is good, what is right. Yeah, keeping their life on repeat and not understanding why they continue getting the same results. And I definitely feel like with this carousel, again, I can't help but even hear in my mind, in my brain, these carousel, it's like screeching to a halt. And it's almost like, okay, you need to stop and you need to focus on this and make ramifications. An apology goes a long, long way. Even, just a heartfelt apology. It doesn't have to be a massive monumental gesture. It doesn't have to be like, okay, I own and I destroyed people's lives. And don't be all dramatic like that. It could simply be, wow, I didn't realize that sometimes the choices I made suck. And to be perfectly honest, I've made some really bad choices too. So, I've had to make ramifications, and probably even more still to be made. But I'm just saying that I feel like with this throat chakra being highlighted, I feel like you're giving yourself a lot of wisdom, a lot of leeway, and a lot of ability to really even express your wish, that like maybe what you even wanted was just a heartfelt apology. I remember I got an apology one time and it was like half-assed and it didn't seem very sincere. And there were like a litany of excuses to follow after that. And it's like, no, you could just stop right there. Stop at the apology and let it be what it is. Because I know when I've screwed up with my son, I've simply had to apologize and make excuses. Very, very different energies being brought to the table. And so a little bit like here, okay. Have you guys seen Nurse Jackie? Because this is giving me Nurse Jackie energy. There could be addictions here. There could be, this carousel could be playing out because there could be addictions. It could be smoking. It could be drinking. It could be a lot of rugs. And even if this person or these people, or this case is like clean now, it could be like all of these problems stem from that period of time, that era, okay? And I feel like this is a golden era with the number 28. You could be 28. You could have been born in February, maybe, or February could have a thing to do with you, or August could be a big deal for you. That could mean something, or it could have been, your birthday as well. Or October could be your birthday, right? Any one of those things. But I definitely feel like this person, I feel like it's more of a person has Nurse Jackie energy of like being very slippery, being very dodgy, being very careless with other people, as long as they get what they want. And that, I mean, she was famously known for like using the guy in the pharmacy, right? And she'd be like, oh, it's just my back. It's like really hurting. And she'd manipulate him out of a handful of pills and things like that. So it just seems like you could have dealt with, or this is referencing a big manipulative energy. And I feel like, I'm hearing the buck stops here. Okay. So there's something to be said about that. Now, if this isn't you, or this doesn't sound familiar at all, or nobody comes to mind, then you probably might want to check the other piles, because you might not have any message in here for you. Yeah, but right here, this is almost like an act, and this is stating it's like karma act 2. It's like they're getting a second dose of their karma, but they're not like owning up to it, right? How many times did Nurse Jackie get popped for, being an addict and then being outed, and then she would hide her behavior and just go off the deep end all over again. It was just a cycle. And I feel like you're dealing with the same thing right here. So pile number 3, it could be that, make a wish, that you have a wish for things to change. With the 25 right here, the 2 is about balance, about autonomy, I feel. It's about a balancing act. And then the 5 is about change, right? Changing that into a more balanced perspective. And maybe that's your wish. It could have something to do with that. And you keep being hopeful. But maybe you've given your back to this person who maybe had substance abuse issues, and they had their own issues with like abandonment or abuse or whatever the case is. They just didn't deal with it well. They didn't deal with their own life well. So how could we expect them to deal with yours well? I don't know. But anyways, I digress. So how's your reputation changing? Is that things are changing around you as well. People are changing their minds. People are realizing that they are getting their karma, and that you are just simply focused on a wish, on whatever it is that you want to do, that you perhaps are listening to whole different music that they are facing, because you have put in your due diligence. You've done your time. You have, I'm hearing, done your period of whatever you've had to like repent. I don't know why that word is coming up, but it's a religious term, and maybe you are religious, and it doesn't make a difference. Whatever this is, I feel like you've dealt with a lot of your own demons, your own issues, your own shortcomings, and it is time for other people to do the same. Not for your sake, but honestly, it's just atonement. It is time for them to be able to face the music. Yeah, face the music and do, hopefully make better decisions. So how's your reputation changing? 9 of Wands, you could be very defensive. What else do we have here? 3 of Cups. Maybe you were defensive. Maybe you are defensive. Maybe this card to me is always like, I've been beat up from the street up. Okay, people have come for you. I feel like you could have been demonized. I feel even pile number 3, that maybe perhaps this person, because Nurse Jackie was awful. Honestly, awful human being in the show. She really demonized people in order to get her way. And I feel like maybe even your reputation was demonized. Maybe this person really spoke negatively to put a slant on things to maybe get more rugs, right? Get more sympathy, continue that carousel, their cycle of whatever it is of self-perpetuating demise behavior, things like that. And I feel like maybe even you could be speaking out about it and you could be thinking about things differently. And I feel like other people are starting to put two and two together because honestly, Nurse Jackie she was protected. I know I keep going back to that, but I can't help but seeing what I see. And she was protected by people who loved and cared for her, but she was also called, you know, to rectify, make amends, and change her ways and things like that. She had plenty of opportunity. And it's like she continued slithering back to the same old behavior. And in the end, that was, you know, spoiler alert, the end of her. So with the Three of Cups right here, yeah, this person could continue to be partying and things like that. And I feel like the number 1333 in camera right now, this has to do with people you used to party with, used to hang out with, used to be like, hey, let's eat, let's drink, be merry. They could have been your drinking partner, your rug partner, right? Whatever this was to you, I feel like your reputation is changing because now you have become self-protective. Now you are focused on the higher things in life. You've evolved. And I definitely feel like you are cloaked in a lot of heart chakra energy. You're divinely protected. Even here, it's like stage energy, similar to this right here. But the stage setting is different. This is about like wishes and fulfillment and innocence and gratitude and dreaminess and authenticity. And I don't know, it just makes me smile when I see it. So I feel like you were made to feel different in so many different ways. Like people definitely demonize you and got the wrong impression because of this person talking and airing out grievances and speaking things that were not even true, not even half true, not even partially true, but they wanted all the sympathy, they wanted the money, they want whatever it was that they could use about you to manipulate and gain money, gain prestige, gain people side with them, whatever, you know, then that's what they would do. And I feel like that's coming to a screeching halt and everything is burning up some way, somehow. Your reputation is changing because you're simply doing you. You're focused on you and you have the wherewithal to defend yourself. You're not even worried about other people, but other people are sure having drinks talking about you. Yep. Pile number 3. If this is you, or if this sounds like you, or if this sounds interesting, then go ahead and click your little notification bell where you get notified that I drop further readings. And also make sure that you like, share, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. How's your reputation changing? That you have a lot of courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Yeah. It's like you have that trust in yourself. It's like, well, you've been able to defend yourself against so many different things. And I feel like you have given up trying to defend yourself against people. If they think negatively about you, then let them. So be it, right? I guess there's this big thing going around with the book, Let Them. But I feel like I've been on that bandwagon for a long time. It's a let them mentality. It's like if people want to think the worst of you, then let them. And I definitely feel like, yeah, this person's participated in a lot of shady behavior when it comes to you. A lot of mudslinging, a lot of throwing around lies, a lot of optical illusions. And I feel like you're really just trusting in self and just focusing on what it is that you wish in your dreams and not even focused on this because that is getting rectified and settled by spirit is what I hear. So people around them are no longer believing their narrative. I feel like your reputation is glowing up. It is showing up. And I feel like people are starting to feel ashamed that they listen to the same old outplayed, outmoded story. Same old bullshit, right? It's like they can't get the story to sound any differently because they themselves are not changing. What they fail to understand is people around them are onto them. They have heard the same thing. They've heard this person, these people, or this entity, whatever this is, express the same thing about other people and demonize them. And now they're realizing that, hey, they have some issues. They have some mental health issues, some substance abuse issues. They got some problems is all I'm saying. And you're over here minding your own business and you have the courage to allow people to not even set the record straight. You're like, what record? This record? Old record, old tunes. Yeah, we're just listening to music and we're going to enjoy the tunes and whatever tune we want to enjoy. We're not going to be worried about what people say, what they speak and what they think. That's a them problem, not a you problem. Pile number 3, how's your reputation changing? Yeah, that you have peace, that you speak peace into life, that you speak peace into existence. I am a being of love, and I really saw negative energy. Yeah, that you have cut energetic cords with people who bring drama, who bring trauma, who bring lies, who bring deceit, who want to manipulate. I heard coerce. I think that's how you pronounce it. I feel like pile number 3, you are that one that your reputation is changing only because you've maintained your authenticity. You've been steady Eddie. You have been exactly whom you say you are. And other people that have slung out, this is coworkers, this is frenemies, this is family, doesn't make a difference who it is. Whoever has tried to ruin your reputation has done so for their own ego, their own reasons. And I think that it is definitely time to pay the piper. And they might even come towards you with an apology, but I don't know if it's a real thing. So you might want to, keep an eye on that. But that's all I have for you. Much, much love. Until next time, namaste.